Hey guys, it's Fiona and welcome back to the channel. Today I thought I would do a bit of a life update video because it was January 6th that I did my last life update just before I left my job, and a lot has happened and also a lot of self-discovery has happened. It's been a weird few months, so I am still unemployed at this point. I did get a part-time job near home, but it turned out I wasn't in as great a place as I had hoped I would be by that point. So that didn't go well and I did leave. I thought I would be ready to return to work after a month, maybe two. No, turns out I wasn't. I've had a lot of discussions with my husband about work and what we're going to do long term. So there are some plans in place for things that may have to happen, things that might happen, but we'll get there when we get there, I guess. So my husband is now studying full-time. He's hoping to turn his studies into an apprenticeship if all goes well. That would be fab. So we're trying to make big changes at the moment and a lot is going on, so my brain is a bit like brrr. So I guess I should probably talk about my mental health and my physical health. So I did my first shift the other week before I left this job, and I got home after my first day being a 12-hour shift, which I didn't realise, and I basically had a full-on meltdown. My husband, who had come in to see me during the day because it's right next to the gym he goes to, had said that he could tell I wasn't right and that I didn't feel right, and when we talked about it afterwards, it was really obvious that I wasn't okay and this wasn't what I wanted to do. So that's it. Basically I went in at a supervisor level, and really I need to not have any responsibility going back into a job, I think, just because I need to play it pretty safe with what I do, because mentally and physically I have struggled, because coming out of Waterstones I'd basically burnt out entirely, like unlike anything else I'd experienced before. And that's understandable. I'd worked full-time for several years and it was just too much of a toll for my body to take at that time. Several years ago I talked about going part-time again at Waterstones, and I wonder if I had anything, would anything have been different? But obviously we won't know that. At the moment we are debating about when I will go back to work, what I will be doing. One of the options is possibly going back to Waterstones for like a day or two a week as a bookseller, not as an expert, not as a section runner, just as a bookseller. I don't even know if they would take me back, but if I can't get anything else off the ground, because there are other things I might possibly want to do, I don't know yet. But that is like a backup option should I need it. Speaking of other things I want to do, if you follow me on Twitter and Instagram, you've seen all this sort of stuff already. Like, I'm reiterating quite a lot of things that have happened to me, but you will have also seen a lot of my creative stuff. So I've been the most creative I have been since my degree in the last, like, what, 3 months that I've been off work. So I started bullet journaling last year, but I don't really bullet journal, but I use like my journal for lots of lists and other stuff. So this particular journal I started in in April even, and this is where I'm up to now in terms of all the lists I've been making, all the drawings and designing I've been doing, and I have been loving it. So I've been doing quite a lot of florals. Let me show you. I think that's in focus. I've been doing a lot of floral stuff for the months. So I've done a January. I'm gonna hide that one because that's designs for a card. And there's February and March that I've been working on. So I'm looking at sort of my future options. Do I go back to school to study illustration? Because my degree is in animation and there's a lot of stuff that I didn't learn and a lot of things I would like to learn. So that is something that's on the cards. Also going self-employed is also on the cards. My mum is actually taking me to an artisan craft type market tomorrow we're going to go and do a little bit of research and see if it is an option, because before I even started doing these monthly flower type drawings, I hadn't really thought much about the end product. I was just sort of practicing with them, but making calendars is definitely an option with something like this. So I really want to create more, and maybe going self-employed is the route, maybe it isn't. I don't know. These are things I have to try and figure out. But I've also been practicing my hand lettering. I found some really nice pens for doing some small hand lettering. I'm really enjoying it. So it's been a lot of fun, and being creative has been great. Let me show you some other stuff. This one I particularly like, Be Creative. But I've been, doing lots of things. I don't have it with me, but my husband and I had our first wedding anniversary last weekend on May the 6th. Well, technically the bank holiday Monday, but you know what I mean. And I actually made him a card, which I don't know where he's put it. I made him a card, and I even made the envelope, and this is the design I created, and I had such a great time making it, and like designing it and all this stuff. It's just something I really enjoy. And yeah, this is kind of where it all started with the florals, these florals. I really like doing detailed things, so there's these florals as well. I really like these, so I might come back to these and do something similar. So I've just been super creative, and I've been loving it. I've been loving being creative, and it's been such a good time. So hopefully you can sort of understand why I'm reluctant to go back into a job, because I want to be creative, and it's hard to do that when I'm working a lot. So here's where I have to try and figure out what it is I'm doing and what the balance should be, which is probably going to take me a little bit of time, but it's something I really want to do and I'm really passionate about. Like, I haven't been creative properly in years, and I've really found this creative spark again. And the last thing I'm going to quickly talk about is my reading. I have read a lot of books this year. I don't know how many books and how many manga off the top of my head, but so far in May I've read like 1 book and about 14 manga, so I'm basically dubbing May as Manga May, because I'm not drawing Mermay. So I'm gonna read a load of manga that I've got. Like, I've still got volumes like 1 to 18 of Heeyyyy, and I've got Utena that I really need to read, so I'm probably going to read those this month and hopefully post a wrap-up video about them, because there is nothing wrong with me taking a break from reading novels. Absolutely nothing wrong with that, and I used to think there was, that I would have to read novels in between. Yes, I have a lot of novels to read, a lot, but I'm not buying as many as I used to. I mean, don't look at this, because these are ones I bought recently, but I'm really enjoying reading manga, and my husband's reading manga as well, which is awesome. He started reading a bit of manga last year, but we've both in the past 2 weeks read the first 12 volumes of My Hero Academia, and he's now moved on to Assassination Classroom to start again, because he read the first one last year and then never got any further. He's now on volume 2 and 3 because he's reread 1, and then I think he's gonna do Heeyyyy, so I'm not sure whether to start Heeyyyy or whether to start something else. So, but it's been really nice to read some stuff and talk about them, so it's just been a really good time. And yes, my mental health is a bit poop, and I have some really bad days, and I don't exactly know whether I'm dealing with just anxiety or depression or whatever. I didn't even think I was going to make a video this week because I just couldn't do it. But when I sat down and thought about it, I was like, no, I want to make a life update video. That's why I want to talk about this stuff. So a lot of the things my husband and I have talked about is that I have kind of ignored my own feelings and problems and issues for a long time. I put everyone else first. I always overly worry about them and never about myself, and that is probably part and parcel of the, burnout, and also some of the anxiety. Even talking to the camera is making me kind of, I don't know if you can tell, talking about it for me is very hard, and I know that we need to talk about mental health awareness and things like that, but I've ignored it for so long in myself, thinking I'm fine, I'm just tired. But I've been tired all the time for like a year, and that is not just, oh, I'm a bit sleepy, it's like bone tiredness. And that comes with anxiety and depression and things like that. And like, you may have noticed, I don't know how noticeable it is on camera and in videos, but the like back sides of my eyebrows are basically non-existent, because trichotillomania is also linked to anxiety, and I basically have annihilated my eyebrows at the start of the year. So I'm working through a lot of stuff, and I'm trying to just find the little pleasures in my life, whether it's creating videos, creating art. I have also got a really cool art project that I can't show you because it's going to be a video soon, but I want to show you because I'm really proud of myself for doing it and for doing something completely out of my comfort zone. So I'm trying to push myself in different ways and explore different things, and I know that I want to go down a route where I'm creative as a human. Like, I don't know if this means that I will still at some point pick up a part-time retail job or some other part-time job. I don't know. But I want to take this chance to explore my possibilities and see where I end up. I don't really want to go back and do like a degree length study if I do anything. I am looking for things nearby and around that may be like a year, or, you know, an evening course or something to do with either illustration or something like that, that's more specific to what I'm working towards now, because my degree didn't give me a lot of that. I was more the creating side of the animation rather than the animating of the animation, so very, very different. I was never all that great at animating, and I never enjoyed the process, but I enjoyed making all the stuff to go with it. My final major and one of my other projects were cut out, one was digital, one was traditional. I enjoyed making all the stuff to go for it, like to go with it, but not actually making the animation itself. So I want to be creative, but I want to figure out the way that works for me, and this is a really, really rambly video. I'm sorry this video is quite rambly, but I hope that it kind of shows you a bit more of where I'm at and sort of how I've not really been super around on social media. I'm trying to take a break from the things that make me feel anxious. I do still go on social media, I just don't sort of post as much, but I try and like read through people's posts and go to their blogs and things, and I watch a couple of YouTube videos, but not very often. I'm trying to spend my time more wisely being creative. I am hopefully heading in a better direction. There are some days where I feel really good, like today I can tell is a good day. I'm making a video, and yes, it's hard to talk about, but I'm feeling anxious, but I'm also feeling better for talking about it. I went out with my mum yesterday and we talked about it, and she was really great. I was really worried to talk to her about my mental health, because for my mum, like, depression equals you want to die kind of thing, not just the other aspects of it. So I wasn't sure how to approach it with her, but she was really good, and we talked a lot about different places that could offer courses, or, you know, whether we go down the craft fair type route or whatever. So yeah, I'm feeling in a good place. I feel like I'm getting support from those I love. Kimmy has been fantastic. While I was having my meltdown the other night, I was speaking to Karen and I was messaging her because I know that she knows more about this than anyone I know, basically. So yeah, she gets it, and she gave me some really good advice, and I felt a lot better. And I'm trying to talk about it more because I need to. If I keep bottling up, then I'm just going to implode one day, and no one wants imploding humans. So on that note, I'm gonna end the video here because otherwise I'll just keep waffling for ages. I already feel a bit better just having talked about it. Editing it will be very weird, I imagine, but hey ho. And hopefully I will see you guys soon with a new video. Bye!